Hello, and welcome to the Rapid Remote Teaching Strategies webinar. My name is Amy Arnold. I am from the Office of Digital Education, and I am a Senior Instructional Consultant. So with me today, I have my teammates Nicole Daney, Lene Sanute, Jill Giacomini, Braden Lewis, and Susan Laws, and they will be monitoring the chat window as well as the Q&A. If you take your cursor to the bottom of the screen, you'll see that menu pop up. And that's where you can click on Q&A and ask questions as we go. And you can also use that chat window as well, and they will be monitoring that. And we are also recording this webinar today. So if you need to leave at any time, feel free to do so. We will record it, and then we will be posting it on our website that we will share with you all when the webinar concludes. So thank you again for being here. Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to start by thanking you all for being here. We have such an important job to do, and we recognize that, and we commend you for taking on the challenges that we are currently faced with. Getting a face-to-face course online in a short amount of time can be challenging, but I really want to illustrate the fact that we are here for you. So thank you for being here today and taking the time to join us. Again, webinar will be recorded for viewing later. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's our agenda today. We're going to cover the remote teaching resources that we have available. We'll do a Canvas introduction, a Zoom introduction, and then we'll talk about some training opportunities that we have for you, and probably most importantly, how you can get help. All right, so Canvas introduction. So how to log into Canvas at CU Denver Anschutz. If you have never logged into Canvas before, you're going to want to navigate to ucdenver.instructure.com. You'll log in with your university login credentials. And if you need help logging in, please contact the OIT service desk at 303-724-HELP, or you can email the service desk as well, oit-servicedesk@ucdenver.edu. They can help you with password resets and things like that. That you might encounter. So I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen so you can see our remote teaching resources website. All right, so this is a website that we're going to be updating regularly. Right now it just has some resources from our office. So it's from the Office of Digital Education, but we'll be adding things in here as we receive those from some of our different academic partners on campus. So this will be a resource for places like Center for Faculty Development. They'll be putting things here. I believe Think Studio will be putting things here. The Office of Information Technology will also be putting resources here. So we will share this link with you at the end as well in a follow-up email. But for now, this is a great place to get started, especially if you're new to online, you've never logged into Canvas, you're not sure how to get started. There's some great resources that we have lined up here to get you started. We have a checklist for faculty. We have a document that has a bunch of quick start videos for you if you need some help walking through some of the basics of Canvas. And then we also have technology guides, as well as student tips and how you can get help with OIT should you need it. So definitely bookmark this one when we send that link out to you. Again, this is a partnership between Office of Digital Education, OIT, Think Studio, and the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. So please check back here as much as you can, and we'll be adding those resources as soon as we get them. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into Canvas. So your dashboard might look a little bit different than mine. I have quite a few courses here. You might only have a few. But we're first going to talk about how you can import the CU Denver Anschutz online course template into your course. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into one of my courses, and yours will probably look similar to mine. Probably doesn't have anything in there yet, and that's okay. But there is a template that we have created for CU Denver Anschutz that you can easily import into your course if you're not sure how to get started. It's a great jumping off point. So what you want to do, once you're inside your course, you'll navigate over to Import from Commons on the right-hand side. You'll click there. And then here, you'll start typing CU Denver Anschutz course template, and it should pop up. It's actually the first one on here. So once you click on this template, you can preview it here, and you'll notice that we already have a module built for you that has resources available on campus that you can add directly into your course. We also have a sample weekly module, and this is kind of how we set up our online courses. It's just a great place to get ideas and try to figure out how you want your course to look. But for this example, we're going to go ahead and import this into our course. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a blue Import Download button, and you'll click there. And then you just want to make sure that you select the correct course that you want to put the template into. So I am going to put it into this Rapid Remote Teaching Strategies webinar course, and I'm going to click Import into Course. And then it will say you have successfully started the import. It may take a while to see changes in your course. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my Canvas dashboard. And to do that, I just click on Dashboard in the left-hand navigation menu. All right, and I'm going to go to my Rapid Remote Teaching Strategies webinar course. And I'm going to click there, and ta-da! If you noticed before, it was completely blank. Now I have this CU Denver Anschutz course template loaded into my course. And it's pretty easy to edit. It already has everything there for you. You just need to plop in your information. So by clicking that Edit Pencil button at the top, you can hop onto that page and start editing all the items here. So if you already have some of this information, all you have to do is copy and paste it in here. So I'm just going to add a couple things here. And then I would just paste my description of my course. This is probably one of the most important pieces for this page, but you want to add your instructor contact information. And again, all you have to do is just plop that information in here, delete out the things you don't need, and put your info in there. And when you're ready, you just want to make sure that you hit the Save button at the bottom. There's a gold Save button right here. And click Save. And you can continue editing. You can go back as many times as you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Modules. So Modules is all the way on the left-hand side. And here you can see these are some of the things that were loaded from the template. So we have a Resources module. And here you'll find things for students like Canvas tech support. There's a Canvas orientation for new online students, how to use Zoom web conferencing, what it means to be successful as an online student. There's an Auraria library page to help them get started, as well as a Writing Center page for them to get help. So this is a great resources module to put in your courses. And then as you move through these modules, you'll see there's a sample weekly module, and it just kind of gives you an overview of what maybe the weekly tests might look like each week. Again, this is all just an example, a good place to start. You don't have to use any of this. But if you want to edit it or delete it, you can click on that Edit Pencil button at the top. And then you could go through and delete the items that you don't want to keep or change it as needed. And so I'm going to hop back into modules, and I'm just going to talk about modules really quickly. So one way to think about modules is modules are a folder for that week's content. So for example, if there are 14 weeks of class, you would want to have something like 14 weeks of modules. So how you create a module is by clicking that plus module button in the top right-hand corner. You just want to make sure you're on the modules page first. And then click that plus module button. And then here you could start naming your module. So I'm calling this one week 2, for example, and then hit add module. Again, you don't need to name it week. You could name it unit. You could name it whatever the topic might be for that week. Or maybe this is just a place for you to put resources for students. As long as you are being consistent with your naming conventions, it will be easier for the students to understand and navigate through those modules. So to add more, I would just click plus module, and I would just continue going on that way. Week 3, and I could continue going. Again, this is just a great way to organize the content in your course for your students. So now that we have modules in here, you'll notice that there's nothing in them, and that's okay. So to add content into your modules, all you have to do is click that plus button all the way on the right-hand side. And here you'll see it says add assignment to week 2. There are some different options in this drop-down menu. So here's all of the options for different kinds of content you can add into that week. So we have assignment, quiz, file, page, discussion. Those are probably the most common ones that you would use. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and add a page. And I would just click new page and I could name this. Maybe I would call it week 2 overview and hit add item. And now you can see that that page is in week 2. To edit it, I just click on it and click that edit pencil button in the right-hand corner. And then here I could start giving the students information like this week we will meet on Zoom for our weekly class lecture. I might do things like read chapter 2. There are a lot of functionality, or a lot of different functions of the toolbar at the top. So you can do things like add YouTube videos. If you're familiar with TechSmith Relay, that's our video hosting tool and recording tool for the university. If you click on that TechSmith Relay button in the toolbar, you'll be able to do things like record a screen recording of a presentation, something like that. You can also do things like add a bulleted list, add number list, link to different places on the web. You can also add images. So there are a lot of different things in that toolbar. I am not going to go over all of them today. We're just going to do kind of the nitty-gritty parts that you would likely need to know. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save at the bottom. All right, and I'm going to go back to modules, and I do that by clicking on modules in the left-hand navigation menu. I'm going to scroll back down, and you'll see I've got week 2 down here. So I want to continue adding content in that module. I'm going to go ahead and hit that plus button. And instead of page this time, I might do something like add file. So maybe I have things like pre-recorded lectures, or I have PowerPoint presentations, or different PDFs that I need to share with my students. That's what file is for. This allows you to select a file off your computer and then put it directly into the module. So how I do that, I just selected file from the drop-down menu. I selected new file, and I'm going to choose that file off of my computer. And here we go. Let's say that I want to share my course syllabus with my students, or actually this reading right here, it's a PDF. I'm going to go ahead and hit open and add item. And it's going to add that PDF directly to that module. And if I click on it, here you'll see it gives it a nice preview. It's already built into Canvas. If students decide that they want to download it, all they have to do is click on the download right here, and it will download directly to their laptop or their device. I'm going to go back to modules again. So if you're looking at this and you're noticing, how come these ones have little green check marks and down here these ones don't? That's because this content up here is published. And by published, that means that students can see that information. They can see the content. So if you see a little bubble right here and it doesn't have a green check mark, that means students don't have access to it. So you just want to make sure that when you're done creating your content, that you are going through and clicking publish. So I can publish things at the module level, and then I can also publish and unpublish things at the content level as well. So maybe I'm not ready for them to see this week 2 overview. I might leave that unpublished until I'm completely done and ready to show it to students. So for now, we'll say that I am ready, and I'm going to make sure that content is published. Also, if you'll notice, these are out of order, and that's okay. I don't need to go through and re-add these modules. All I have to do is click here where you see this cluster of dots, and then just drag it up to where I need it to go. So if you'll notice they're out of order, or you need to move something from one module to another, all you have to do is click and drag and let go. So no need to re-upload, things like that. It's pretty easy to move them around. All right, so let's go ahead and continue adding content into this module. So this time I'm going to leave it on assignment. I'm going to go ahead and click new assignment, and we'll call this week 2, paper, and hit add item. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and edit that. To do so, I click on it, and then I'm gonna click that edit pencil button at the top. And then here's where I would put all of the instructions for how they're gonna complete this assignment. So maybe it is a 3-page paper on rapid remote teaching strategies. And then you can see I have all the same functions on this toolbar. Maybe they need to view a video in order to complete the assignment, or maybe you need to add an image in there. So you can use all the same functionality here, but I'm just gonna leave this really simple for right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my points. And then where it says submission type, we're gonna make sure that we select online because they're gonna be submitting this paper online. And then I have some options for how they can submit that assignment. They can either do a text entry, that's gonna give them a text box where they could copy and paste or write directly in the text box. It could be a website URL, maybe it's a Google Doc or something on the web that they have saved. It could be a media recording or a file upload. But what I wanna do is a file upload. This is gonna be your Word docs, your PDFs, things like that. This is the most common one, especially for doing this example assignment of a paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and select file upload, and then I'm gonna give it a due date. So let's say it is due next Friday. It automatically defaults to 11:59 p.m., but you can change that time if you would like to. And then I just wanna make sure that I hit save at the bottom. And now we have that assignment completed. I'm gonna go ahead and click modules again. And if you'll notice, I still need to publish that. So I just wanna make sure that I publish that so students can see it. And when I do that, it actually does something really neat in Canvas. If I click on the syllabus page here, it actually will add all of my assignments directly under course summary on the syllabus page. So while we're here on the syllabus page, I do want to show you what you can do with your course syllabus. I'm going to go ahead and delete this out of here. But let's say you need to put your syllabus in your course. This is a great place to do so. You can copy and paste that syllabus here, or you could also just link to it if you want students to be able to download it later. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Files, and I'm going to upload my syllabus. So I scroll to the bottom, I click Upload a new file, choose File, and here is my course syllabus. I'm going to hit Open, and then I just want to make sure I hit Upload. And there you go, it adds it directly into that text box. Now it's a clickable link for students so they can download it. I'm gonna hit Update Syllabus, and there you are. If they were to go and click on that, it will automatically start downloading to their computer. So again, Edit Pencil button, you can link to that file if you want to. Another option is to copy your syllabus and paste it into this box. So I'm gonna do that really quick. There we go, copy this. Let me just reshare my screen. There we go. And then I can just paste this in here. There, perfect. All right, so now my syllabus has been pasted onto the syllabus page, and I just want to make sure that I hit Update Syllabus, and there we go. Now my syllabus is on the syllabus page. I'm going to go back to modules, and we're going to show you how to do a couple more things with the content in the modules. So far we've uploaded a file, we've done a page, we've done an assignment. I'm going to go ahead and click that plus button again. And this time we're going to do discussion. So we'll say new topic, we'll say week 2 discussion, and add item. And it went ahead and added that into week 2 module. I'm just going to click on it, click that edit pencil button in the upper right hand corner. And then here I would put my discussion instructions. Maybe it's to discuss in chapter 17, in your textbook and review the lecture video. So this is where I put all of those instructions. Maybe there are some things you want them to do. You want them to respond to a student by a certain time during the week. You would add all of that information about the instructions right here in this text box. You can also do things like attach files to your discussion. So maybe they have a reading or something that you want to attach a PDF for them to view. You could do that here. You can also make your discussion graded. So if I click that graded button, it gives me some more options where I can add points. And then at the bottom, I would select a due date. We'll say it's due next Friday. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now I have a discussion. And for students, when they see your discussion post, all they have to do is click this reply button at the bottom. And then they could just start posting their reply. And they have the same functionality with this toolbar. They can do things like record a video, upload a video. They can link to different things, add an image. So they have some different options for posting with their discussion reply. But I'm going to cancel that for now. And so another thing I want to talk about is communication in Canvas and what that looks like. So there is an option in your course, and it's called announcements. So if I click there, this is a great place to do announcements for your students. So maybe you are moving to doing Zoom lectures, or you're having your class time over Zoom. Here's a great place to create an announcement for, let's say this week, we are meeting on Zoom. And this is where you could paste a link to a Zoom meeting link that you have. You could put your the time, the date, all of that kind of stuff. Maybe there are other announcements that you need to make as far as your course is concerned. So go to this link on Mondays and Wednesdays for your scheduled class time. And then you could paste a link here to Zoom if you needed to. And there's some options for posting. You can also attach files in the announcement if you need to. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, so there's an example of one way that you can communicate with students in Canvas. Another way is through the inbox. So on the left-hand side here, you'll see inbox. And inbox is not your campus email. So inbox is, one way to think about it is Canvas messaging. So when you're using this, you have some options. You can select your course and email or message all the students in your course, or you could select a course and then select a specific student if you want to send an individual message to them. You can also do things like add attachments. You could record a video if you needed to message to all your students. One important thing to note about the messaging is maybe you are receiving something from Canvas when you get something in your inbox here. And how you set that up, if I click on account, my account up here, there is an option called notifications. And this is where you set your notifications for Canvas. So if you're wanting to receive any message that comes to your inbox here in your university email, you just want to make sure that you have this set up. So right now it has 4 different preferences. You can either have it notify you right away, send you a daily summary, send you a weekly summary, or don't send you anything. So here's where you can decide the frequency of the emails you want to get from Canvas when different things happen in your course. So if you're really concerned about students sending you something here in the inbox and you might not see it in your university email, you just want to make sure that under conversations, you have all of these scheduled to notify you right away. That's how you can get Canvas to send those notifications to your university inbox, okay? So I just wanted to make that distinction that the inbox here is not the same as university email, but you can set it up to send those notifications to you, should you choose to do so. And these are global settings, so these are the same settings for all of your courses. So you just want to go through and make sure that you're getting the right notifications for the right things, and turning off the ones that maybe you don't need, things like that. So just keep that in mind, that you can find that under account and then notifications. All right. I'm going to go ahead and click back on my dashboard. And if you're not seeing one of your courses here on your dashboard, another place that those courses may live is under courses. So on the left-hand side here, you'll see courses directly underneath dashboard. And you'll see a list of your courses. And if you're still not seeing it here, it may be listed under all courses at the bottom. And this is going to give me a list of all of the courses that I'm in, and even all the past enrollments I've had. So that is one place to look if you're having trouble finding your course and it's not showing up on your dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and just hop back into the presentation here and reshare my screen. There we go. All right, so let's do a quick Zoom introduction. So scheduling class times online. You can use Zoom to meet synchronously, or you can use Canvas discussion boards to meet asynchronously. So what you want to do is set a specific date, time, recurrence for your class meeting, if that's something that you're interested in doing on Zoom. If you can provide resources online and you don't need to meet, that's totally up to you. Just consider uploading your materials weekly. So maybe you are recording your lectures and things like that. That's totally fine. You don't need to do the weekly Zoom meeting, but I would definitely consider uploading those materials in the weekly modules just to keep students informed about what's going on, and just keep it consistent, just so they know how to get started, where to go, how you're meeting, things like that. Keeping that communication open. So one recommendation that I have for you is to do virtual office hours through Zoom. So some of the key things you want to take away from this is you want to make sure that you test Zoom and practice beforehand. Maybe that's adding one of your colleagues to a Zoom meeting and testing it out. You want to keep the times and days consistent for your students. And what I suggest doing is using your Zoom personal meeting ID for creating virtual office hours. By using your personal meeting ID, that gives you one unique link for Zoom, and it never changes. So if you're doing office hours, it's nice to keep that consistent link for them. That way they're not having to scramble to figure out what is the Zoom link for this week's office hours. And that's my personal preference. You don't have to do it that way, but I definitely suggest keeping it consistent for them. So how you log into Zoom at CU Denver Anschutz, log into the university instance of Zoom at ucdenver.zoom.us. Click sign in the upper right-hand corner and use your university login credentials. And if you need help, contact the OIT service desk. Again, it's 303-724-HELP, or you can also email them. So how to create a Zoom meeting with your personal meeting ID. You'll want to click on Personal Meeting Room, copy the join URL, share the meeting join URL with your students via Canvas or email, and click on Start the Meeting when you're ready to start the meeting. And again, your personal meeting ID never changes. So here's what this looks like if you are in Zoom or you haven't used Zoom before. Your personal meeting room shows up in your account. When you open up your account, you would just click on that, and you could share that special link with your students. Again, that's one that never changes if you're using the personal meeting ID. And then all you have to do is click that Start the Meeting button, and Zoom will pop up. And if you've never used Zoom before, it will ask you to download an extension. But if you're all in this webinar today, you should be good to go. And so the functions of the toolbar in a Zoom meeting look like this. You have the option to mute yourself or unmute yourself, to turn your video on or off. You can invite other people to your meeting. They do not need to have a University of Colorado, Denver, or Anschutz login. You can invite anyone. That invite button gives you a link also to the meeting. So if you want to share it that way, that works. You can also manage participants. So if you have your students in there and maybe you want to make sure that you mute them so you can get through a lecture, things like that, you can do that under Manage Participants. You can also share your screen. So maybe you have content that you need to show them. That's what that share screen button is for. And then You also have the option to chat with your students. And then you can record as well. So maybe you are doing a weekly meeting and a student isn't able to attend. You would just want to make sure that you record that file. And that saves as an MP4 file, and it downloads directly to your computer when you close the meeting. So, and then you have the end meeting button there on the toolbar. So we have a lot of training opportunities here at the Office of Digital Education. So we have virtual drop-in help on Zoom, and that will be Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Mountain Time, and that's starting on Monday, March 16th. The Zoom link is here. It's ucdenver.zoom.us/my/ODE help. Again, I don't expect you to write all this down or remember this. We are going to send this out to you when the webinar concludes. We're also going to have, you can book 30 minutes of one-on-one help with someone in ODE, and there's a special link that you can go to reserve that time. We also have our online skills mastery self-paced online courses for faculty, and these are about they take about an hour to complete, and you can stop and leave the course at any time, but this is over a variety of different online teaching topics, and I find that these will be very helpful for you, especially if you're just getting started with Canvas and with teaching online here at the university. So, and those are all self-register. It just plops you into the course and you can get started right away. And that's at cuonline.edu/OSM. And then you can also register for upcoming training opportunities with ODE. So cuonline.edu/training, and that's where all of our training and workshops, the registration links for those are at. So definitely check that out. And so I'm just actually gonna hop out of here really quick and bring up cuonline.edu/OSM and just show you kind of what this looks like, the opportunities that you have available. So we have a Canvas Essentials cheat sheet course. We have a TA guide. We have some electives over universal design, hybrid teaching, introducing students to your course, copyright basics. So there's a list of different self-paced online courses that you are definitely encouraged to enroll in and take a look at to help you get started. There we go. And so this is perhaps the most important part, who to contact for help. So again, ODE training, we have a website, cuonline.edu/training. We also have an email address that we check very, very often, and it's odetraining@ucdenver.edu. And these are the things that you can direct to us if you have any kind of training questions, if you need to cancel or modify your registration for any of our trainings. You can do things like media consultations. If you have course design questions, we also do help with TechSmith, Relay, Snagit, and Camtasia. And we also add other instructors to a sandbox for collaboration. So that might be something that you find very important if you're trying to build your course with someone else. You want to lean on somebody else to help you navigate this and figure things out and share resources. We can help you get that set up. And then we also have the OIT service desk. Their website link is there. They have phone, email, and chat. And they can do things like if you are having issues with enrollment, password resets, if maybe you need to merge some course sections, maybe you're teaching multiple sections of the same course and you would like those to be merged together in Canvas. And they can also do things like help with Zoom. And their number and information is here as well. And then Canvas. So we have 24/7 Canvas support. You can email them anytime. You can call them anytime. Students and faculty have access to this 24/7 help. You can also click help from within Canvas. So I'm going to hop back into Canvas really quick and just show you where you can get help. All the way on the left-hand side in this left-hand navigation menu, you'll see the help button at the bottom. If I click there, there are a bunch of different things that you can do. You have the OIT service desk information right here. You have the Canvas hotline for students and faculty right here. You can also chat with them right away. You can report a problem if something's happening. And then one of the best tools that I find for someone if they're just starting out, new to Canvas, or even myself, I look at these guides quite often. There are guides in Canvas that will walk you through how to do absolutely everything in Canvas. And these are step-by-step guides with pictures, and they walk you through how to do anything. So maybe I completely forgot how to create an assignment. There is a guide for that. So if I click on that, you can see it's going to walk me through step-by-step how to do that in Canvas. So definitely take a look at those guides. They're definitely going to help you get through some of this if you're struggling, or use any of the 24/7 Canvas support options. So finally, some online considerations. Make sure you are communicating regularly and clearly with your students. I cannot stress this one enough. They are just as stressed and worried as you may or may not be. So just keeping those communication lines open is going to be very critical for them and your success as well. And just keeping everybody up to date with what is going on in your course. Prioritize, figure out what your students really need to know. Focus on getting them that content that they need right now. Don't worry about getting everything up and running all at once. We don't expect you to know how to build an online course in a day. We don't expect you to be able to put all of the content for the rest of the semester in Canvas today. We know that's not a reasonable expectation. We certainly don't expect that from you. So give yourself a little bit of credit. This is it's hard, and you can do it, and we are here to help you. Again, you're not going to recreate your face-to-face classroom, and you can't hold yourself to that standard. Just moving a course to online in a short time is difficult. So please give yourself a break and know that we are here to help you and support you during this time. And again, this webinar has been recorded, and we will put it on our website for future viewing. And we will also email out the presentation along with the important links we discussed after the webinar concludes. And we thank you for joining us today. I wrap things up a lot quicker. I will take some time now to do a little bit of Q&A. And please stay healthy, and we look forward to connecting with you again. And we will send out those resources soon. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Q&A. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I'll see if I can help. So I'm seeing some questions about the links, and we will be emailing everyone a copy of the slide presentation, and it will have all of the links in there. So please be looking out for that. We'll do that soon, so you have access to everything. So can you access Zoom directly through Canvas? Yes, you can. There is a Zoom integration built into Canvas. It's in your course menu. If you're not seeing it there, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And I will show that to you. And there is a Zoom app as well, and students can use that on their devices. So their phone, their tablet, their laptop, whatever it might be. Hi, Tammy. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get Zoom to integrate into Canvas.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again and show that to you.
Okay.
All right, so here is my screen. If you look, I'm in my course right now, and on this left-hand side in this menu, you'll see Zoom. It's one of the links here. If you're not seeing it right here for some reason, it might be that you have to go to your course navigation to uncover it. So if I click on settings down here, navigation is the third tab over. And let's say Zoom was down here. Any of these items that are hidden from students, you can always grab them and pull them back into the navigation so it will show up for them. So you just want to make sure that it's there. If it's down below here, students can't access these items. You can because you're the instructor, but students can't. You just want to make sure you hit save. And so now I have Zoom in my navigation over here. And if I click Zoom, this is actually tied to my university Zoom account. So here, I could schedule a meeting with my students just right here. I could use my personal meeting room if I wanted to. Let me hop back here and I could schedule a new meeting. So essentially it's a scheduling tool for Zoom. Let me just type a title here real quick, example. Let's say we're meeting, 1 today. I could select a duration if I need to, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And so from here, if I click on this Zoom link again, you'll see that I've scheduled that meeting, and then I can hit start whenever I'm ready. So if I hit that start button, it will make the meeting pop up. I can't do it right now because I'm in Zoom, but it will make the meeting start for your students right there. So any of the meetings that you need to schedule, you can schedule right here. And this is just a scheduling tool for you. So students don't have the same access to this. This is a faculty-facing Zoom integration. If students want to have meetings on their own, they need to actually go to ucdenver.zoom.us and then log into their account, and that's how they can log into Zoom and create their own meetings.
So if we wanted to have breakout, because I'm trying to get used to this breakout room idea in Zoom, we can't do that directly through Canvas.
You can. So what you need to do when you start the meeting, so you can start the meeting, and then one of the options for you at the bottom, there's a breakout rooms option, and it lets you manually select students, or Zoom can actually select them for you. So if you're doing maybe you have group projects and you want to break them out into groups of 4, and they're in the meeting with you, it will actually let you assign students to different rooms, and then you can hit breakout rooms and it will send the students, it will open up a new window for them of a room. They still have access to the main room, but then it allows them to meet together. And you can hop into any of those rooms since you're the instructor. And at any time, you can force them to join the main meeting again. So you have those controls in Zoom. And if I click on this, I won't be able to show you because I have the webinar going. Does that help?
It does. So is there any integration of Zoom with the people function? Because we have existing Canvas courses that have small groups already divided up, and there's no way to directly integrate. We would have to separately create the small groups in Zoom.
Yes, at this time, there is not an integration that I'm aware of. Braden Lewis, you're on here still, right? He's one of my teammates. He might know a little bit more about that, but I don't think that it will take the groups over from Canvas and then create them in the Zoom meeting. I think you have to manually do it when you're in there. But just to verify, Braden, can you?
You're correct. You have to manually create them inside of the Zoom room because they're not connected to each other.
Okay. All right, and then the other thing, I guess, related to that is if everybody's out in breakout rooms, is there a way for them to raise their hand if the small group has a question, and then we could enter into that group and answer questions?
I'm not 100% familiar with that, but in the chat box, I just put a a guide from Zoom, and so it'll actually go step by step of what is able to do with the breakout rooms, and that's available in the chat. I believe the best way for that to happen is for you as the instructor to go in between the breakout rooms, and then you can actually check in and say, hey, does anyone have any questions at this time? All right, good. I'm going to move on to the next one. So it's kind of like you're walking around the room asking different groups inside the classroom if they have any questions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to take a look at the Q&A for just a second and see if I can answer any more of these questions. So give me just a moment. So someone asked if you can record the chats in Zoom and keep a copy. And that's something you can set up when you create the meeting. If you go to ucdenver.zoom.us, if you've created that meeting in Canvas, that's fine. It will also show up on your university account there. But there are meeting, what is the word I'm looking for? There are different things that you can set for your meeting there. And you can actually select save a copy of the chat, and that's how you do that. So you just want to make sure that you go in ahead of time and edit the details for your meeting to save the chat. So somebody asked if you can have two people host a meeting, and you can. So that's also, you can change the meeting details. If you go to ucdenver.zoom.us, that's where you can change the meeting details for your meeting, and you can add somebody as an alternate host, and that allows them to have the same functionality you do. So they can use your Zoom meeting room, and they can record, they can answer questions, things like that. And they can also move in between the breakout rooms. So you just want to make sure that you add them as an alternate host in the meeting details. So someone asked me about data for a presentation for a 75-minute class. So that could create a large video. You're correct. So what we have here at the university, we have TechSmith Relay, and that's our university hosting platform. So it's saving those videos in the cloud. So that way it's not eating up your course storage or taking a lot of bandwidth for a student to download it. They're actually just streaming it off of our platform. So TechSmith Relay is built into Canvas, but we also have an external link you can go to. It's ucdenver.techsmithrelay.com. Again, we'll put that in the email that we send out to you, but that's a great way to host the video. So it's not becoming an issue of data for the students. It is streaming off of our university hosted platform. So Marlene asked about, she's not clear why we wouldn't use Zoom through Canvas. The only thing that you wouldn't use it for, let's say you need to meet with an individual student, the Zoom integration in Canvas allows you to meet with your entire course. So it's just creating a link for everyone in your course, not for individual students. And it doesn't allow students to create their own meetings through that platform. It's simply a faculty-facing integration. So it allows you to create meetings for all of your students in your course, but it doesn't allow them to create meetings on their own through that app. They need to go to ucdenver.zoom.us. So that's the reason why you may or may not want to use it in Canvas. I mean, you can do both, but if you have specific needs, like you need to meet with one student one-on-one, the integration doesn't allow you to do that. Am I clear on that, Braden?
You are correct. I would almost say for the easiest way is to use the ucdenver.zoom.us website, because that's going to be where you can do everything all in one. Whereas the integration that you see in Zoom is purely just for sharing stuff to the entire class.
So I know there's some really specific questions, especially about TechSmith Relay, and I encourage you all to reach out to us. You can reach out to us at odetraining@ucdenver.edu, and we can follow up with you. I know there are some people who have some really strict deadlines to get some things online, and our one-on-one consultations won't start until Monday. But if you have some, pretty urgent things, please, I encourage you to email us, and we can get you going in the right direction. So you can record lectures directly with Zoom. So there's a record function when you open up your meeting, and it saves on your computer as an MP4. From there, you'll want to upload that. You can upload it into TechSmith Relay to host your video, and then put it into Canvas, since TechSmith Relay is integrated in there. So hopefully that helps with that question. So John had a question about doing picture-in-picture in Zoom, and you can choose to have your camera turned on as well as be sharing a screen. So maybe you're showing a presentation and on one side, and then you're also wanting to show them, you playing the piano on the other. You can do both. There are different views for the student. When in Zoom, like in the it's hard to explain. There's a little gallery view, and you can kind of change how you have it side by side for them. But that's the best that I know how to do with sharing a screen and also keeping your camera on. It can do both.
John, something else that you can do is if you have an external webcam, or if you're willing to go get an external webcam, you can move and angle that camera wherever you want. So you could actually move that external webcam right on the piano so that you can see what you're doing with your fingers. And this process can also be used if you want to have the webcam on a document that you're writing on, or that you're marking up, to show everyone viewing this webcam. And then, of course, when you're done and you want to put the camera back on you, just reposition the camera so that it's pointing on you again.
Andrea, we can help you if you go to that link, if you want to schedule something for figuring out how to do the iPad and Mac. Well, we can help you.
It's also important to point off that you actually can be logged into a Zoom meeting twice. So if you want to log into Zoom using your computer and then log in using your iPad, you can actually share screens and jump back and forth between what you see on your iPad and what's on your computer. So you're not limited to just logging in once. You can do multiple things. But if you want to do that, I would encourage you to practice with your family and friends, and maybe give them a mock presentation so you can get used to switching back and forth and being comfortable with it.
Hi, Carol, are you still there? I see that you raised your hand. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to talk, to ask your question. It might be easier if you want to chat. I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself. I tried to unmute you there, Carol. But Charles, do you want to go ahead? I think you should be able to talk. There we go.
We unmute. Yeah, so I got a very specific, I don't know, we're trying to figure out how to actually migrate our labs for our intro to biological anthropology classes. We're going to be studying, students are supposed to be handling skeletal material and answering specific questions. So we, lucky enough, we had a grant, we were able to buy a 3D scanner. So we have digitized our collection into a 3D. And we have all these large files, which we are now integrating into our PowerPoints. And we're gonna be using them for Zoom. But we're having a little bit of some tech issues with allowing students to manipulate or sort of have a feel about those models. Do you guys have any suggestions what we could try to use and to be able to integrate that to our students so that their learning experiences sort of match to what usually they are doing in a physical lab?
When you take the 3D images, how are you sharing or broadcasting what's been captured?
So some of those are actually embedded in, we have two ways. We have the STL files, which anyone can use it with a 3D viewer. So we are wondering whether maybe we should go that route and create some chat room, sort of breakout rooms during the lab, in which maybe particular groups can actually work with one module, 3D module, and the others. But we have them also sort of embedded in our PowerPoints.
It sounds like possibly the best thing to do is to, like you said, you have them embedded in your PowerPoints, to share those PowerPoints with your students, either through OneNote or emailing it to them. That way they can actually open the PowerPoint on their computer in a Zoom meeting that you're sharing. They'll be able to manipulate what they're seeing. You'll be able to see what they're doing through Zoom. And then if you want to, that can also be recorded. And so all you're essentially doing is sharing those 3D images that you've captured through PowerPoint and giving that to your students, and then working with them while they're working with it live through Zoom.
Oh,
Does that make any sense?
Actually, that could help. We will test it. We'll try to test it the OneNote and see how it works.
Yeah, feel free to test it. And then if you have any questions, just email odetraining@ucdenver.edu, or you can actually reach out to the OIT service desk. They'll be able to help with this issue as well.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot.
So a couple other things about Zoom. If you're not aware, everyone at the university has a Zoom Pro account. And what that means is you can have up to 300 people in your Zoom meeting. And you can be in there as long as you need to be. There is no time limit. A lot of times people will just Google Zoom and they'll go set up an account through the Zoom website, through their own website. And that's not tied to our university account. So you just want to make sure that you're going to ucdenver.zoom.us to log in. That's how you have access to your pro account through the university. Otherwise, if you go to the Zoom website itself outside of the university, it's going to make you create an account, and it's going to be one where you can only have a couple users, and you only have a short amount of time to be in that meeting. So again, we all have pro accounts here, and you can have up to 300 people. And Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that. I think somebody had a question about that and it disappeared. So I just wanted to make sure that I addressed that.